Hey friends, this is CMA Deepika Bhugra Prasad, insolvency professional. The Code IBC 2016, while in operation, requires the RPs and liquidators to take clear and strict decisions so that it is ensured that the code is sacrosanct and that the business culture in our country is transformed for good. So let us, friends, today discuss an important case, bringing this aspect into the forefront. So this is the case of Deepika Bhugra Prasad, that is the liquidator, that is myself, versus Lucky Holdings Private Limited, which was decided on 1st December 2025 by Honorable NCLAT. So, what were the issues before the Honorable Court? The primary issue before the Honorable NCLAT was whether the liquidator acted in accordance with the law by cancelling the sale and forfeiting the EMD, and whether the Honorable NCLT's order directing the refund could be sustained. Sub issues included whether Section 74 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, which is regarding the penalties and proof of loss, applies to the statutory liquidation auctions under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. So let us see the factual background of the case. The case pertains to the liquidation proceedings of Mrs. SD Aluminium Limited, which is the corporate debtor. Following the failure of the CIRP, the Honorable NCLT ordered the liquidation of the company and appointed the appellant as the liquidator. The liquidator conducted an e-auction to sell the corporate debtor as a going concern. The respondent, Lucky Holdings Private Limited, emerged as the highest H1 bidder on April 26, 2022, with a bid of rupees 124.60 crores. Under the terms of the e-auction process document, the respondent was required to deposit 25% of the bid amount after adjusting the EMD within 15 days, specifically by May 11, 2022. But the path to a winning bid was fraught with complications. First, there was a technical glitch. An earlier auction on April 16th was voided after a bidder, which was GB Hospitality, mistakenly entered a bid of rupees 1,242 crores instead of 124.2 crores, forcing a restart. And then there was an auction restart at 3 p.m. on April 18th. Both Lucky Holdings and another bidder, that is Trailblazer, entered identical bids of rupees 124.40 crores, creating a tie. And then there was a tiebreaker round at 6 p.m. on April 18th, which was to resolve the deadlock. A final round was held. And then the winning bid. Lucky Holding emerged as H1 bidder with a final offer of rupees 124.60 crores. On April 20th, the SCC approval was taken. They formally declared Lucky Holders as the H1 winner. Then there was a challenge. The unsuccessful bidder, Trailblazer, filed an application with the Honorable NCLT challenging the auction process. On May 9th, 2022, just 2 days before the payment deadline, the NCLT heard the case. The Liquidators Council gave a procedural undertaking that it will not go ahead with the sale pending a reply. This created an interim restraint. Then on May 11, 2022, there was a bidder's response. That is, Lucky Holdings formally wrote to the liquidator stating that due to the stay, it could not proceed to deposit the first installment and would await a final order. On June 15, 2022, Trailblazer unconditionally withdrew its application. The Honorable NCLT order said that interim order, if any, stands vacated. Then on June 16th, the liquidator immediately emailed to Lucky Holdings informing them the stay is vacated and requesting payment within the remaining 2 days, that was by June 18th. On June 17th, the liquidator sent a reminder. On June 18th, Lucky Holdings replied stating that awaiting the NCLT order and need to evaluate the implications, requesting time until June 30th. This was the first clear sign of delay. Then on June 23rd, the liquidator forwarded the certified copy of the NCLT order and again requested for payment. Then on June 23rd, 2022, the liquidator provided the official court order. The 15-day payment clock, paused with 2 days left, had now definitely expired. On June 28th, the liquidator sent further unanswered reminders. It is clear that failure to pay constituted a breach of the auction terms. After their email on June 18th, Lucky Holdings provided no further communication, no payment, and no firm commitment. Then on July 1st, 2022, the liquidator took a decisive action. The sale was cancelled and the liquidator forfeited 2 crore worth of EMD. Now, the first court order sided with the bidder, ordering a full refund of the EMD. The bidder, that is Lucky Holdings Private Limited, challenged the forfeiture, seeking a refund of rupees 2 crores of EMD. They gave the core reasons as that the application of Indian Contract Act 1872, wherein the court treated the EMD forfeiture as a penalty clause under a commercial contract. Further, they gave a reliance on Section 74. It held that under Section 74, the party claiming damages, that is the liquidator, must prove that it had suffered an actual loss. Then on 17th January 2023, there was this impugned order wherein the adjudicating authority allowed the application and directed the liquidator to refund the EMD, also saying that there was no loss proven. The NCLT concluded that the liquidator had not sufficiently pleaded or proved a specific loss resulting from the default. And further, the liquidator made an appeal to the Honorable NCLAT, giving a core argument that the auction is a statutory process under the IBC and not a private contract. The Indian Contract Act does not apply. The default was clear. The bidder failed to pay even after the stay was lifted, and multiple reminders were sent. Further, the forfeiture is a statutory right. The e-auction document authorized by IBC regulations explicitly permitted forfeiture. It is not a penalty. Further, the loss is self-evident. The re-auction fetched rupees 21.20 crores less, demonstrating substantial detriment to the creditors. Further, the bidder gave its defense, giving a core argument that the liquidator caused the delay herself with the unilateral undertaking on May 9th. One cannot benefit from their wrong. The performance was prevented, the legal uncertainty created by the liquidator obstructed payment. There was a commercial unviability that the delay led to a drop in aluminum prices, making the deal commercially unviable. Further, that the forfeiture is unjust enrichment. Since the liquidator caused the breach, forfeiting the EMD is inequitable. Now, relying on these clauses came the judgment. Clause 12.2.24. The successful bidder must submit the first installment, 25% of the bid amount, less the EMD, within 15 days of being declared the winner. These are as per the e-auction documents. Further, the clause 13.5. The EMD can be forfeited if the winner fails to make the payment of the first installment within 15 days. Further, an affidavit declaration by the bidder on April 13th, 2022. Lucky Holdings explicitly affirmed in a sworn affidavit that they agreed that their EMD was liable to be forfeited if they failed to adhere to the timelines. Further, the demand was raised on April 26, 2022. The liquidator formally requested Lucky Holdings to pay rupees 29.15 crores, which is 25% of 124.6 crores minus the EMD, on or before May 11, 2022. The default caused a tangible loss of rupees 21.20 crores to the creditors. The original auction being 124.60 crores and the re-auction giving a bid of 103.40 crores. This represented a direct financial loss to the liquidation estate and its stakeholders. The Honorable NCLAT said that liquidation auctions are not ordinary commercial contracts. The tribunal's foundational analysis gave a distinct framework. Auctions in liquidation proceedings under the code operate in a framework which is distinct from ordinary commercial contracts. Further, there is a statutory umbrella. A liquidation sale occurs under the statutory umbrella of the code and liquidation regulations with predefined timelines and conditions, and automatic consequence for default. Bidder's voluntary submission, that is, a bidder voluntarily subjects itself to those conditions, and the liquidator is obligated to enforce them strictly. Now, if we assess the bidder's conduct, the tribunal found the bidder's responses after June 15 to be evasive and reflective of hesitation rather than readiness. It noted that asking for time to evaluate after the obstacles were removed was a delaying tactic and a clear violation of the auction terms. The law was already settled. Section 74 of the Contract Act is inapplicable. As per West Coast Infra Projects Private Limited versus Ramchandra Dalaram Chaudhary in 2023, wherein it was given that when forfeiture takes place under the terms and conditions of a public auction, Section 74 would have no application. Further, the terms and conditions of the process document has been framed as per the statutory empowerment given to the liquidator by Schedule 1 of the Liquidation Process Regulations. An argument that the liquidator must file a separate suit to forfeit the EMD is preposterous. Crucially, this NCLAT ruling was affirmed by the Honorable Supreme Court, settling the legal position conclusively. The appeal was allowed and forfeiture was upheld as a justified and lawful action. The final verdict came on 1st of December 2025, where the Honorable NCLAT allowed the liquidator's appeal and set aside the NCLT's order. The liquidator's action of cancelling the sale and forfeiting Rs 2 crore EMD was declared fully justified and in accordance with the provisions of the code. The key legal principles affirmed statutory supremacy. The terms of an IBC liquidation auction governed by the code and its regulations override general principles of contract law. Further, EMD as a guarantee in a liquidation auction is a guarantee of performance, and its forfeiture is a direct statutory consequence of default and not a penalty. Further, the certainty and timelines, the time-bound nature of the liquidation process cannot be compromised by a bidder's commercial second thoughts or delaying tactics. The enduring principle upholding certainty in liquidation process, there were wider implications of the judgment, which reinforced liquidator authority. The decision empowered liquidators to enforce auction terms strictly, protecting the process from non-serious bidders and ensuring timely completion. Protects creditor value by preventing delays and ensuring accountability, and ruling helps maximize the recovery for financial and operational creditors. Further, it sends a clear signal to the market. Prospective bidders must understand that participation in an IBC auction is an unconditional commitment. Commercial risks like price fluctuations post-auctions are borne by the bidder, not the creditors of the insolvent company. So, friends, conclusion that the NCLAT concluded that the respondent committed a clear default under the bidding auction terms. It found that the NCLT had erred by applying principles from the Indian Contract Act instead of viewing the matter through the lens of the IBC. Consequently, the appeal was allowed. The NCLT's order to refund the EMD was set aside, and the liquidator's decision to forfeit the EMD was upheld. So, friends, we conclude that non-serious bidders and non-serious participants in the auctions and in any terms of the IBC must be clear that they will face consequences. Our honorable courts are really making efforts to ensure that the IBC and the code and the regulation is protected. So, friends, I trust that you find this both enlightening as well as interesting. So, for further insights into such judgments, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. So, thank you, friends, for being with me here today. This is Deepika B. Prasad signing off for now. We'll catch you in the next case. Thank you.